팀장님, 여기 11호차 응급 환자 발생했습니다.
알려주세요.
아직까지 남의 안에 열려있다니까. 우리 그냥 이것들 달고 부산으로 갑시다. 바로.
지금 몇 호칸?
무슨 일이 벌어지고 있는지 몰라? 우리 열차는 더 이상 부산으로 운행할 수가 없게 됐습니다.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. This is year 7. That's right, year 7. This is year 7 of Movie Month. For 30 days, I'll watch 30 movies and do 30 podcasts. This is day 16. Take the last train to Busan and I'll eat you at the station. Hello everybody and welcome back to Movie Month on Geek Mentality. It's day 16 where we've hit the peak. We've crested the peak. I can't think of another word. And now we are on the backside, coming back down. First 15 up, now we're on the second 15. We're on the back 15 if golf had 30 holes. And today, I watched the 2016 horror action thriller Korean movie Train to Busan, or Train to Busan. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. This movie came out in 2016, as I may have said before. And it is directed by a Mr. Sang-ho Yeon, who I have no familiarity with, except now I am a fan. Apparently he made only animated films before this, including an animated film called Seoul Station, which is a prequel or predecessor, depending on who you're looking. I think it came out after Train to Busan, or it came out around the same time. He put this movie out and that movie out in the same year. That's an animated film talking about the day before the events that happened in Train to Busan. And he's also directing the sequel, which is going to be coming out, I believe, this year. What timing? I just watched the trailer like 5 minutes ago. And do you not know what this movie's about? Well, spoilers ahead, because this movie is zombies on a train. Yeah, that's pretty much what sold me. Zombies on a train. But it was better than that. You hear that and you think, oh, that's like something that could be done on Sci-Fi Network. But no, this was done with like great visuals, great action, great just creativity of how to make, because zombies are all over the place. And how do you take something that's been done and overdone and make it fresh? Now, again, this is 4 years ago. This is not like it's now happening, where it's like 4 more years of zombies. But even in 2016, zombies were everywhere. And this story kind of takes a somewhat unique look at how the zombies work. But, I mean, in effect, it's just a zombie movie. But it is done with heart. Put it this way. At the end of this movie, I was tearing up. And it was like, I thought, are they really going to make this a depressing movie? I mean, it was fun for a while. Then it got sad. Then it was like tense. Then it was sad again. It was only fun for a little while. It was nerve-wracking. Also, all these emotions. But what it was completely was entertaining and well done. And that's why it has such high regards, and like it's got high Rotten Tomatoes score. And I just remember hearing about it for a while, and my brother told me how great it was. And finally I'm like, hey, it's on Netflix. I want to watch a movie today. Just so happened that I'm watching a movie today. And this was on my list, ready to go. And I almost watched it, I think, 2 days ago. And I forget. I watched whatever I watched 2 days ago. Oh, I was going to watch Train to Busan, and then ended up watching Happy Death Day to You. Let me put it this way. Train to Busan is a much better film. Okay? So this movie starts with something we're all very well aware of, talk of a quarantine. This farmer, it seems like, I think he's a farmer, was trying to get through to his house, I'm guessing. And it was just kind of a cold opening. In other words, this had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. He has to get stopped, and his car gets cleaned down, and he's like, what's going on here? Are you going to have to kill my pigs again or bury my hogs? And the guy who's in a full hazmat suit is like, no, it's just a chemical spill. No big deal. He's like, okay, yeah, right. And then the guy drives on, reaching for his phone. He hits something. And you're thinking, oh, God, we've already started. But no, he just hits a deer, a small little deer. And he's like, oh, God, what a shit day today is. He gets in his car and takes off. And then what happens was the camera sees the truck, and then it starts panning back towards where the deer is. And I go, okay, something's about to happen. This deer's going to get up, isn't it? And it did. The deer got up, kind of like crickety, like his bones were all cracking, and his eyes were all like milky, all glazed over, and boom, the movie has started. This is something different. We don't really see zombie animals all that much unless you're watching like a cheesy, kind of goofy sea-level movie. And this was anything but that. So we cut away from that guy, never see him again. We end up in and I'm watching this going, oh, maybe the guy who's washing the hazmat suit, maybe he's the main guy in the story. Nope, never see those people again. So we cut over to an office building, really nice office, like, all the cubicles and everything. Busy, and it cuts to in the back. One of the guys is on the phone, and then he's talking business, and and this other guy comes in, and he's like, hey, what are we supposed to do? And they're like, we have to sell. And I think they said they have to sell for this chemical company, this chemical tech company, whatever it was, which I think comes into play later, but it's not that important really. And he's like, okay, I should we do this? He's like, you do what we're told, what is told. You sell. Also, I can't stop yawning. And then the guy's like, also, what are kids into? Cut to him going home, and he has a daughter. Oh, he's on the phone with his daughter? Yeah, I think he's on the phone with his daughter. His daughter wants to go to Busan, wants to go see mother. And he comes home. His mother's working there. He finds his kid under the covers talking to his mom on the phone because he wants to go visit her mother. Please take me to Busan. I can take the train myself. I can go. He's like, look, I'll take you. Here, happy birthday. And the kid opens up a Wii, and she just looks at it. And he's like, what? And then she looks on her counter, and there's a Wii right there. She's like, I got it for Children's Day last year. And the dad, he's like, okay, we'll get you something else. So the dad, you could see he's very successful, but he's very distant. That's why he doesn't quite show emotion to his kid, and his wife left him. So he's living with his mommy. And he was on the phone arguing with the mother. I'm going to, that's how it was. He was like in the car garage yelling at this woman that he doesn't want her going to he doesn't want the daughter going. I have custody of her, blah, 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 blah. Just normal ex-husband, ex-wife banter that you're used to seeing on TV. He goes, so basically he's like, fine, I'll take you to the train. The next day, they get on the train. The end. Then, all hell breaks loose. So while he's on the train, while they're driving to the train, they drive to the train really early in the morning, and all these fire engines go by. They're like, what's going on? It seems like something's happening. And they look off in the distance. In the reflection, you see this office. I can't stop yawning. This is really, really embarrassing. This office tower is ablaze. It is ablaze. They're like, oh, what's going on? Something really big must be happening. But they make it to the train, no problem. This is when some of the cool just visuals start. So like the people are getting on the train, and you start to kind of, you start to kind of see who are the characters in this movie. So you see a husband getting on with his wife. You see his pregnant wife. You see a bunch of young baseball players and a girl from their school who gets on and they're all like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, I come to watch you play. And then she goes and sits down next to one kid who seemed to be a little embarrassed to be with her. Like, he was like, he was just shy. And that kid is the same kid from Parasite. I looked at him and go, wait a minute, I think that's the kid from Parasite. So he did this first, obviously, because it was in 2016. Once I saw him, I said, okay, he's got to be one of the main players in this movie too. He's going to be one of the survivors, I hope. Well, you've seen the movie. So we have them, and then we also have this business guy who is like very much into being. You could see that he was going to be a bit of a jerk at the beginning. He's very polite to the little girl, and he's trying to get into the bathroom. Like the little girl needs to go to the bathroom on the train, and that's where you see the dad to be, who has his pregnant wife in the bathroom. And he was actually, you could see he was playful with the girl. And then later, this is when stuff starts happening. So right when the train's about to leave, the conductor looks this way, looks the other way, and with his back to him, you see this white flash go by really quick, like someone jumps onto the train. And then they're like, someone's aboard the train. We have to go see what's going on. So they go into this room, and the little girl walks up and sees in the train, there's like, not a homeless guy, just a guy that looks dirty and scared. He's like, they're all dead, they're all dead, they're all dead. It's not the person we saw jump on the train, someone else on the train. Then we see the girl on the train that ran around the train all in white. Her legs have all these veins popping out of her. And she's like, I'm sorry. She keeps saying to herself, I'm sorry. And she looks like she's trying to tie off one of her legs. I don't know if she's trying to stop an infection of something. But she's keeps apologizing. And then at one point she starts wandering on the train. And no one's even paying attention to her. She's just kind of dragging her leg. And finally she falls down and starts convulsing. And one of the train conductors, I don't know, the attendants, train attendants, is that what you call them? She's like, excuse me, ma'am, are you okay? Oh my God, someone's really sick. And then the woman, the girl in white, attacks her, starts biting her neck. Now, before this, when they started showing people to get on the train, they showed one of the attendants. I'll call them conductors. I think that's what they are, right? They're not the engineer. They're the conductor. So one of the conductors says to the girl, she's like, hey, watch your tie. And they're smiling at each other. And like she fixes her tie, and they make me think that those two are going to be, maybe there's a relationship, maybe there's something that goes on. Like they're going to be major parts of this movie. Nope. Because pretty soon, people just start getting wiped out left and right. And like all of a sudden, the conductor, the female conductor, is down the middle of the train with the girl on her back, and people aren't even paying attention. She starts freaking out. Then it just starts going crazy. People are biting each other, falling down, getting up. And the way they get up is cool. It's almost like they're rabid, kind of like that 28 Days Later zombie. They run and they're quick, like Dawn of the Dead. But the way they kind of come back to life, it's not really come back to life, but it's like their bodies are rigor mortis already or broken. They're dying. They're all their bones are stiff, but they're still like getting up, almost like a skeleton trying to build itself up. It's disgusting, but awesome. And I mean, at this point, just hell starts breaking loose. Come on. My dog wants to go out. Okay, so as I said, at this point, all hell's breaking loose, right? But the cool thing is that because you're on a train. Uh-oh, was that a rabbit? You might hear my dog bark soon. Because we're on a train, and it's so long and there's so many cars that something crazy could be happening on one car, and then 2 cars over, no one has any idea what's happening. They're just going about their day. Some people are in nicer cars, some people in, smaller cars. It's just like we have no idea what is going on here. And people could be getting ravaged in one car while people are reading their magazines in the next car over. And it just starts going bonkers, right? There, my dog is really on the hunt for a rabbit. All kinds of like banana stuff is happening. Oh, and while they're kind of like, wait, something going on, they start seeing news reports of things happening, and they start looking at their phone and seeing that things are happening, something's happening. And then another kind of a scary thing, but it was like a representative of the government came on and said, don't worry, he's giving a report, don't worry, everything. All right. Everything is okay. You're under control. People may be trying to undermine the government. Please do not listen to that. We have everything under control. Like, they're not mentioning anything about zombies, I don't think. I think someone looked up on their phone, it said zombies. It was kind of hard for me to understand it was all in subtitles. So, it said hot word zombie. I think that meant someone was looking up the keyword on their phone for zombie. But while this was going on, this guy was giving the speech, people are watching videos of. At first, I thought what it was zombies falling out of helicopters and people running for their lives. I really, for a second, thought it meant that the government was throwing zombies into different parts of the country to control people. I don't think that's the case. I think that what it meant is that there was just a helicopter, someone got sick on it, and people were falling out of the helicopter. One person got it and it ravaged that quick, which is scary when you think about where we are right now and how how things spread and quarantine and all that stuff, just in real life. And then you think of like this highly fantasized version of it. It is a little freaky. When I go for my walk tomorrow, I want to stay even further than 6 feet from people. So the big thing is that, we're in one car and we're trying to separate from another car, and people are trying to save themselves. So at one point, the father and the daughter get split up, and then the husband and the pregnant woman get split up, and but then the pregnant woman ends up with the daughter, with one of the old people. Like they're trying to fight their way out of things. They get split up, and eventually they have in one car you have the dad-to-be, the little girl's dad, and the young baseball player, and they need to get to the wife, the daughter, an older woman who's there with her sister. They're split up, and then that kind of vagrant, scary-looking guy who was afraid, who was a stowaway on the ship, but he's not a bad guy. In fact, he ends up being a hero. So they're split up and they have to get to each other. And all the while they finally get to each other because on the way they figure out that in darkness, these zombies kind of stop. They come to a lull, they don't really go after anybody. I don't know if it has to do with their eyes or what, but that's the uniqueness of these zombies is they have they have some sensitivity to light where they don't attack in the dark. So they figure that out, and they use that timing to move around and get away from zombies. On one car, I'm giving my dog some treats. Come here. Come here, little one. Come here. So they use that trick to get from one car to the next car and make sure it's very nice and sealed. And they end up eventually getting to their oh wait, I skipped a whole part. They didn't get separated at first. They get separated later. Oh my God. I just watched this movie. So, they're on the train and they're like, okay, listen, there's still lots of people alive on the train. Listen, they kind of figured out a way to block off and have a couple cars where where the sick are. They don't know if they're zombies yet. And everyone that we know is safe. So they they say, listen, we're going to pull into the station. It's going to be safe here. Someone should be there to take care of you. They get there, and one of the guy calls his friends. He's like, don't go to that city. That city's going to be quarantined. They're not going to let you in. And they get to the city. And this is when things get crazy. So he's like, the dad with the girl who's talking to somebody on the phone, he's like, get me out of here. Get me out of there. He goes, they're going to be going this way. You got to meet me at this other place. All he cares about is himself and his kid. But he goes, you got to meet me in this other place. Fine. So they all get off the train. They all go into the station. I thought, oh, that's it. The train to Busan is over. They're not on a train anymore. It's just going to be like a zombie movie everywhere else. Wrong again, Mike. So they... the father and the daughter are like, come on, let's go this way. And the daughter's like, what about everyone else? He's like, don't worry about anyone else. We don't care about anyone else. We just got to take care of ourselves right now. She's like, no, that's not right. The daughter is just a saint. And the dad's like, no, we have to go this way. And then that vagrant-looking guy's like, hey, I think I'm going to go with you. I'm going to follow you. So he starts following them, and they see someone coming. Like, oh, good, there's someone. And it's a soldier, and he's like, help me. And then, boom, a zombie jumps on him and starts ravaging him. And then all these zombies start coming out. And meanwhile, everyone else is going down this escalator because they're going to go into town. And the dad-to-be looks over, and he's like, why is there a bloody police shield? Why is that like that? They get to the bottom of the stairs, and there's just a bunch of army fatigues, like legs, and they turn. And it's all zombies in the broad day, just running right at them. They're trying to get away. So you got zombies from that end coming. You got zombies from the other end coming. And they somehow, the women get away. And they're like, the rich guy gets back to the train. He's like, we got to go now. We got to get out of here. And the train conductor's like, there's still people coming. We have to save them. We have to get out of here. That's when you realize this old dude is a dick. And he just gets worse and worse. Worse and worse. And he causes so much death. So the men, which is the baseball player, the dad, and the dad-to-be, end up holding off this door. And then the pregnant mother grabs the little girl, and they run off. They get on the train with one of the old lady sisters and that vagrant guy. So they're on the train. Then they look and they realize there's zombies everywhere. So they lock themselves in a bathroom. Then you got dad-to-be, the baseball player, and the other dad get to the train finally after beating up a bunch of zombies. Cool. They get on the train, and then they realize on the phone call that they're 4 or 5 cars away, and they're like, screw it. We have to get to them. So they tape up their arms. One of the kids has a baseball bat, and they fight their way through cars. That's when they remember. That's when they figure out that the dark actually controls. They don't move in the dark. So they break away. They break their way through car, get to their family. They're like, we did it. We saved you. Come on. Now, then they figure, hey, we could sneak out of the car this way. So they're sneaking. They finally are going to make it to this car where everyone's locked away. You got the rich people, you got a bunch of nice people, and you got the girl that the baseball player liked. And she's like, we're alive. Come here. And the old guy's like, we don't know if they've been infected. We don't know if we can trust them. We don't know if we can let them in. We cannot let them in. Let's not let them in. So they lock the door. They all lock the door, and the people finally fight their way to get through the zombies. And then this jerk and all the people on that side lock them out. The kid has a baseball bat. He starts smashing, smashes all the way through, smashes through, and then they're still holding the door. They're holding the door. They're trying to let, they don't want to let people in. They're please. While this happens, okay, the dad to be is holding the door. He gets bit. And he was like this fun kind of like big muscly, like the hero, almost like the hero. He was cooler than the dad. He kept calling the dad like a-hole and jerk and things like that. That was his nickname. I just enjoyed that because the dad was kind of dicky to him. And the dad almost closed the door on them originally, but this guy ended up, when the tables were turned, he saved the guy. So he died a hero. He's like, go save my wife, and he kind of fends them off for as long as he can. But at the other end, all for that, they won't let them in. They finally fight their way in. And while they fight their way in, the old lady gets killed. A couple other people get killed, and the only people left now are the vagrant, the pregnant woman, the little girl, the baseball player, and the main dad. And he gets in, he punches the old guy in the face. He's like, "You let them die. You killed them." And then they all turn on them. They're like, "You can't stay here. You can't stay here. You could be bit. You're infected. Look at you." And so these people are like, this is the worst of humanity. They turn on fellow man, and they kick them out. And they end up going into the this area in the front. So they're kind of locked in their own space. Good. I'm glad they were, because the old lady's sister saw her sister die, and she's like complaining, why were you so stupid? And then she looked at these people are stupid. She almost like she gave up on life. So she goes over, she opens the door, lets the zombies in, and they ravage that place. They don't kill that old guy though. The old guy hides in a bathroom with a conductor, and then he's like, he looks out, there's zombies everywhere, and the conductor goes, is it clear? He's like, yeah, it's clear. You go first. And he shoves him out. He gets eaten by zombies, so this old guy can get away. Because this train, what the hell happened at this train? Oh, I know what happened. There was they're trying to get to Busan. Still, the conductor tried to get you there, and the train was off the tracks. No, there were trains off the track, big fire, so they had to stop. So they get off the train. No, they get on the train, they get off the train, they get back on the train. This time this group is, there's only a small part of them now. And now the conductor's like, I'm going to go as far as I can to the left. I'm going to get a train car and I'm going to pull it out. Go all the way to the left. Get there if you can. He runs, gets through a couple trains, finds a train car that's working. Gets it going. Meanwhile, they're fighting their way out of the train to get out. And they're trying to slip through other trains. Then all of a sudden, this train on fire shows up out of nowhere, and boom, a giant explosion, zombies flopping all over the place. The pregnant woman, the vagrant guy, the dad, and the little girl get pinned under a train. The baseball player and the teenage girl, they're getting away, right? And they open up one train car, and they're about to open up another train car. Guess what? The old guy follows them in. He takes the girl and shoves her out of the way, shoves her right into a zombie. She gets bit. And then he breaks through, and the kid starts crying, the teenage boy, and he's like, oh, I can't believe this happened to you. And he's holding her, and she's like, yeah, okay, I'm a zombie, though. And then she bites his neck, and he's dead. So they're like, what is going on? I thought all these people were going to be, I thought these were the survivors. This guy runs to the train, because now the conductor has the little train going. He's like, you're going to run. And he's running for his life. And finally, the conductor's like, damn it. The engineer, he gets off the train to, while it's still going, to go help him get on the train. And he ends up getting eaten by a zombie. The old guy ends up getting back to the train car. Okay? Now, while this is happening, you got the dad and the pregnant woman the little girl and the van guy, they're pinned under this train, right? Now they're pinned under this train and the glass is right over them. In the glass are zombies trying to break out. They find a little hole and the dad gets out, but then there's this thing that crashes a little bit. He has to move this giant thing out of the way. So he's running out of time. While he moves this thing out of the way, some of the glass breaks, some zombies get out. The vagrant guy sacrifices himself for the little girl and the pregnant woman. They get out. Then they all run for the train, and this was a wild moment. This was a wild, wild scene because you got a single train car, okay? And at this point, I don't even think you realize that the old guy got away. You just see this train car going. You think it's empty. You have no idea. They're running for their life. They're running. Finally, the little girl grabs the train, gets up there. The guy grabs the pregnant woman, throws her up there. He climbs up there, and you're like, finally, they're on the train? No. One zombie grabs onto the train, then another zombie grabs onto the train, then another zombie grabs onto the zombie, then the zombie grabs onto the zombie, then zombie. And they almost like, do you remember, was it the World War Z where the zombies ran up the wall and they all kind of used each other? This was kind of happening here where all of a sudden there's this giant train of people being pulled by the train, and then one zombie starts running up that train, and they finally beat it off, and the train, they collapse. The people fall all over each other, and the train starts getting away, and you're like, oh, okay, we're going to take this all the way to Busan, where it should be safe. It should be safe. Let's go check to see what the conductor's up to. They open the door, and it's the old guy, but he was infected. And he's kind of like, he's not there yet. He's still kind of human. He's like, help me, I'm lost. Can you help me find my mommy, my address? Like he just starts thinking he's a kid. And the guy goes, you're infected. He goes, what? No. And he looks down at himself, and then he stops, and then he looks up, and he's like, nah. He starts fighting the dad. So now we have a train fight, okay? There's a train fight going on. They're beating the crap out of each other. And they almost get thrown off the train. The pregnant woman's trying to help. The dad gets bit. He gets bit, and then he flings the old guy off the train. He's bit, and he realizes that he's a goner. So this is when it is just depressing. He brings the pregnant woman and his daughter onto the car. Now, he's been pretty distant with this kid the whole time, but earlier on, he finally starts holding her hand, and now he holds her hand, and he's like, and his hand's all bleeding, and she goes, listen, you go with her no matter what. And she's like, please don't leave me, Daddy, please don't leave me. And there's crying, and there's music playing, and it's just all depressing. And he finally leaves them in the car. He goes, when you get close, you use this brake and you stop the train. He closes them off, goes to the back of the train, and you just see him standing there, and you see him starting to get infected. His skin's starting to turn, his eyes starting to turn, but he's smiling, and he's having a memory of his daughter being born. And like I don't know if it's the baptism or what, everything's in white. And I was like, I'm getting a little emotional now just thinking about it. I teared up with that. I was like, oh my God, how heart-wrenching is this? And he smiles, and then they show just the silhouette, the shadow on the ground of the train going, and him standing on it, and him just slowly falling off the train. So hopefully, I hate to say this, hopefully he died on impact, and he doesn't come back as like some ravaging zombie. And then the train finally gets to a spot where there's like all these barricades up and dead bodies, but it's very quiet. So the woman gets off with the girl, and they start walking through the train, through this tunnel. Now, off in the distance, we see this army, military people with machine guns drawn, and they're building barricades. And then they see down the train, they go, 2 people are coming. Appears to be a woman and a girl. They go, can you confirm if they're infected? And they look. They go, I cannot confirm visually. And then you hear a voiceover go, kill them. And you think, part of me is thinking, oh my God, are they actually going to go that route? I think of like Mist, or these movies that just, you want to see an awful ending. You want to see how there's not always a happy ending for anybody. So earlier in the movie, the little girl, the dad finds a video because he's so busy that he couldn't go to his kid's school to see her sing a song at this recital, and she stopped singing. And he's like, "How come you stopped singing?" Like, she stopped singing. He was watching the video of it because he didn't go to it. And she's singing the song and everything's good. Then she just stops and she freezes. And you hear kids laughing in the classroom. And later on, they're in the car. He's like, you should never stop singing. You should never stop what you're doing. Always do it always go through to the end. You shouldn't stop singing. Which I wonder if that's a thing where she never stopped. She went all the way through to the end. And then later, before he goes and sacrifices himself, he's holding her and she goes, I didn't sing because of you. Because you weren't there, or maybe it wasn't at that point. I forget. Maybe it was earlier on the train. But she told him, "I didn't sing because you weren't there. I always sang that song for you, and I couldn't finish it because you weren't there." And I was like, "Oh my God, this kid's such a great little actress." And so they're fast forward to they're in the tunnel, and this guy's about to pull the trigger, about to kill them, just because they can't be trusted. They could be zombies. And all of a sudden you hear her singing, and she's singing the song. And she's singing it loud. And she's crying, and she's with the woman, and she's really like tired and depressed and sad. But she's just singing that song, singing it loudly. And they're like, we have survivors, we have survivors. And they rush over, they start running over to them, and they show the women and the daughter and the girl singing, and then the movie ends. So you think, okay, they're saved. And they're brought into wherever civilization is still happening. Happy ending for them. Right? I just watched the trailer for Peninsula, it's called. I guess the title of the trailer is Train to Busan Presents Peninsula. I saw it also written as Train to Busan 2 Peninsula. Doesn't look like it has anything to do with a train. But this world of zombies continues, and it almost becomes like apocalyptic, and what life would be like with these zombies. How the underworld would deal with them. That's what that sequel seems to be. But that's the sequel. That's 4 years from what I just watched, which was 4 years ago. This was Train to Busan, and it was spectacular. Like, I'm so glad I didn't, I will never watch a movie with dubbing, ever. I don't care. If a movie's supposed to be good, I want to watch it as it is, with the voices of the people delivering the lines, actually saying them. I don't care if I have to look down and read. I don't care if I have to rewind it once just to watch, the reaction on their faces. I don't care. That's the way to do it. And it's funny. I talked about with Parasite how, maybe it'll open my eyes. I'm sure it opened lots of people's eyes to another world of cinema that's out there. And here I am, 2 weeks later, and doing doing another Korean movie. So with one of the same actors. So I thought that was, I think that's pretty cool. And I don't know of any that I have lined up yet, but I hope it's not the last one. I know it won't be the last one I ever see. Might be the last one this year, though. And it's certainly the last one for today. So that's Train to Busan. I thought that was, and I said it again, I think it was a great movie. I'm really happy that I watched it. And I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think I covered everything that I want to cover. Look, it's on Netflix. I'm sure you already watched it. Otherwise, what are we doing here? But definitely worth a watch. Even worth another watch. Awesome. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it. Listen, you know where to find me, right? On Twitter, on Instagram. The name is Geek Mentality. The podcast is called Geek Mentality. It's actually, I changed it to Geek Mentality, the home of movie month. And the website is fansnotexperts.com. The Facebook page is fansnotexperts. And yeah, that is it. Now, tomorrow is June 17th. It's a Wednesday, and it is my last day of work before I go on vacation for just about 2 weeks, I think. I'm on vacation pretty much to the end of the month, which, when you have no place to go, isn't really, all that exciting. My family was supposed to be going on a cruise at the end of August. And, today we officially heard it got canceled. So I'm pretty relieved, It's depressed that we don't get a chance to go, but relieved that we don't even have to have the choice. Like if it was still on in August, I would have been like, oh, God, please don't let my parents be stubborn and think we should go. Please, please, please. So I'm very happy that, it was canceled and everyone's refunded and it's fine. All right, my friends, that's it. And that leaves my August open for another project. But that's for another month. Until tomorrow, my friends, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing and sticking with me. I really appreciate it. Listen, I have other podcasts out there. Go to fans.experts.com to see all the other podcasts. And until tomorrow, my friends, here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans not experts.